Okay, May 23rd, it's coming up, and it is the full moon in Sagittarius at 2 degrees. What does this mean for the collective, and what does this mean for you? Let's chat about it. You know the drill. Grab your notebook, grab your pen. Let's go. This full moon is at 2 degrees. 2 degrees is ruled by Taurus. So there's so much Taurus anyways on the zodiac wheel being touched and finished up in certain signs. So what should we start with? Let's talk about material goods, what's happening in the world. But this also correlates to the new moon we had 6 months prior in December. It was on the 12th. So look back 6 months and go, what was I starting up or manifesting, and see where you're at now, because there's this cultivation point, a fullness to it. And over the next 6 months, it will start to just grow, blossom, and complete. So you are at this new turning point, this pivot of Sagittarian theme. So we are talking about learning, exploring, adventuring. Really, it's about colleges, and obviously we've had lots of things going on in college campuses. Not a surprise, right? It's only going to intensify during this full moon. And it is squared the asteroid Juno, so it makes it even more intense. So war themes, it was going on around December 12th, and it's still going on, but it will intensify. Again, full moons bring things to fullness. It shines a light on them and goes, okay, this needs to be fixed or looked at. Let's look again. And then something, yes. So this would be more involving like bombs and missiles and things, but we'll see how it goes. I'm just talking about the astrological placements and what they could mean for us. So then you will feel this 3 days before, 3 days after, even 5 days before, 5 days after. We have lots of different placements too. So like Neptune's at the last few degrees in Taurus, so it's kind of extra interesting. And we have Gemini switching in like 2 or 3 days after into the sign of Gemini. It's been in Taurus for a full year, and now it's switching into Gemini. So everything's kind of in this movement, pivot, super interesting. So this full moon though, it has really great things for personal advancement and learning and finding somebody that you can learn from. So finding a guru, finding somebody who can teach, a teacher like person. So if there's a topic that comes up where you're like, oh, it's a little taboo or a little different, or I want to learn more about it, please indulge. Please. The universe is asking you to, because it will expand you. So you might even be deciding to go back to school. And you might be deciding to move or travel overseas, things like that. So it's kind of like exploring and learning and gaining new insight. And because Neptune's at 29 degrees, we might see a little bit more clarity before it shifts. So it should be interesting, all in all. I can't forget to talk about Pluto is making an aspect to this moon. So it's literally transforming an area of your life. So something will come to light, and Pluto is going to say, is that your persona? Is that how you feel? Is that your belief system? Again, Sagittarius is about beliefs. And you can say, is this true? And then somebody might shine a light about who you are in their eyes, and you go, wow, I didn't even realize I was like that knowledgeable, or that, able to do that. I didn't realize that I stepped into that position or that role, or, I took on those traits, or I learned those talents and skills. And all of a sudden, your self-worth and confidence will grow. So there's this transformation property to it, going, is this aligned with who I am? Do I really find fulfillment in this? Is this worth my time? What am I interested in? Right? So then you might go on a little adventure. Maybe in some books you'll go on an adventure. But within 6 months' time, whatever you start to notice around this time, will start to grow. So don't be afraid to put yourself out there. And Jupiter rules Sagittarius. So Jupiter's going, yeah, I'll expand it quicker for you. But it's also in a weird aspect right now too, because it's finishing up in Taurus before it moves to Gemini in 2 days. So it might not give you like a full hug and chef's kiss of like done, but it might be like put a little effort in. Okay, I noticed now, I was busy, but I'm here now. So it gives you a little rain check period where you're like, no, I really want this. I'm going to start learning about this. I want to go here. I'm going to start this trip, blah, blah, blah. Put it out there. Keep working on it. Jupiter will notice, even if it takes a little bit of time. But there is a transformation that will be occurring within and again without. And that's in your own life. Okay. Last thing I want to chat about this. On the 29th, which is pretty close to this full moon, is Chiron conjoining Mars. And this is, obviously it's in Aries right now, so it's extra like about you. What are your beliefs? What do you need to let go of? You know, whatever's being triggered around this time, because it can start now around the 23rd and go all the way into June. And there could be somebody, you know, pulls on a string, a heartstring, and you're like, oh, I didn't realize I was still wounded there. Or somebody from the past can show up and say, hey, did you forget about me? Yes, unfortunately, now I don't. You know what I mean? Like it can be, it's very much about you and where you're at. So even things you've went through before that you forgot about, you're like, oh my gosh, I didn't realize this triggered me so much. So Mars is going to say, I'm going to shake it up. I'm going to burn it up and you're going to get really uncomfortable. And Chiron's saying, heal the wound. I always think of Shrek when he says, hear the roar. You know, anyways, heal the wound. Anyways, but it's a great time to let stuff go. So if you don't have a therapist, go check it out. Start a self-care routine where you can actually like deep breathe, meditate. That's another great way to start healing. You can do somatic healing, you can do EFT, tapping, there's so many things. Deep breathing, yoga, take a walk outside, make sure you're grounding yourself too, because there is so much earth energy in this and so much Gemini energy in this. So it's the expansion, it's your mind's going a mile a minute. What am I, you know, what do I find interesting? I have to talk about it. I want to explain it. I want to share it with everybody in my community. I need a new community. It goes on. Gemini is the communicator. It's the coordinator. It's your neighbor. It's your community. And so Gemini is asking you to expand that. And Jupiter is going to double down on that. So you should be feeling it around this full moon in Sagittarius. And if you didn't know, Sagittarius is the truth-seeking, truth-speaking sign. So make sure that you double check your facts. If somebody tells you something, double check it. If you are finding information from a certain source, double check it. Because things are not necessarily coming from the right way. But anyways, I'll stop there. That's enough information to indulge yourself with. This is going to be a great pivoting point for the next 6 months. So what do you want to learn and explore and expand on? Sagittarius is saying, aim that arrow, let it go. So go for it. Get your eyes on the prize and go after it. Whatever it looks like. You want to travel, you want to get healthy. Those things are going to be very emphasized. So with that, I'm sending you so much love. Bye for now.